Hi everybody, it's me, Carrie Beglow, your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Farmington Hills, Michigan. This is a recorded video for my Facebook page, facebook.com Memory Inkers. I am going to show you a fun project. I wanted to show you all the products that we're going to be using. Some blends in, I'm just going to check the colors. Sorry, my eyes are giving me a little trouble today. Oh gosh, I can't even read it. Isn't that crazy? Daffodil Delight. And then these are Petal Pink. And then the Wink of Stella. Okay. The Sale-a-bration bundle with the stamp set and the matching designer series paper. Friendly Hello. Love, love, love this set. You can get these both free with a $100 purchase. If you do decide to place an order today, you can go to my Stampin' Up! Website, memoryinkers.com. My current hostess code is PGCTF7MZ. I would appreciate it if you would use that. So let me set this aside for just a minute so we can keep going. We're going to be using the dies, and they are called Stitch So Sweetly. They're $32. I'm going to be using a couple of these awesome label dies. The new Hive 3D embossing folder. The amazing and wonderful Stamparatus. I'm just using one hinge plate today. The inks are Memento ink and gray granite. I'm going to be using the Ladybug Punch. This is from a bundle that comes with a stamp, which you can bundle it with the Hello Ladybug stamp, which you've seen me use before. Love it. So cute. I'm going to show you something else to do with this today. The not exactly retired, but on the carryover list, the black and white gingham ribbon. We'll be using just a little bit of that today. Some basic white, some basic black, and some thick basic white for our card. And this is the piece of the designer series paper. So let me get started. To begin with, we are going to take this, and I did a lot in advance, so you don't have to like sit around and wait for me to do stuff. We're going to use this awesome 3D embossing folder. It's called Hive. And this is one of the super, super thick ones. So your plates are going to be different. As you know, you're going to get all of these plates when you buy your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. When you are using a super thick embossing folder, happily, it gives you the directions. And you can see here, you only need plate 1, which is this one, and plate 4, which is this one. And you will put the designer series paper inside wherever you want it. And I know it seems a little weird, but I wanted the flowers in the background of this designer series paper. And I thought it was pretty close to a honeycomb set. So you're going to set that in there and then set number 4 on top and run it through your machine. And with the magic of I did it before, here is what it will look like. Now, you can decide when you're doing this, if I did it so that it went in, it goes in like an actual honeycomb. But you could have done it on the other side where it pops up. It's totally up to you. But this was the look I want, and you're going to see why in just a minute. Then I am going to take my Stamparatus. And let me move that aside and that aside because we don't need those in our way either. I'm going to show you 2 different things. So for the first part, I am going to stamp the flowers, and this is photopolymer, the stamp set that I showed you. And I'm just going to stamp it regular. Okay, I'm not going to panic worry about it. But because it's photopolymer, I do want it on a foam base. So I'm going to set it on here because I do have the foam that does come with your Stamparatus. And I am going to use the gray granite. Now, I could go ahead and set this on a Stamparatus, but I don't need to. And I don't want to tell you that you absolutely have to use the Stamparatus every time you stamp. I don't. You guys know I don't. You've seen me do it. But there are times even when you're doing a simple card like this, you're going to want to use the Stamparatus. So I'm inking this up, and I'm going to stamp my flowers like that. Okay, so that is all I'm going to do with the basic gray and with the flowers stamps. So I'm going to set those aside as well. Now, I'm going to move this over. I am going to color this. And you really should have a piece of paper underneath it, because it does bleed through. But I have found that it doesn't do much to my tabletop, so I'm going to go ahead. So I'm going to start with the lighter of the petal pink, and that's because this is petal pink, which is why I am using that color. And I'm just going to very quickly, I'm not getting fancy, because petal pink is super pale. And it's slightly orange colored, in my opinion. I'm not quite sure why it's called petal pink. I think it should be called petal peach, but hey, you know, it's just my opinion. Okay, so I've got those all done up, and then I'm going to take the darker petal pink, and I'm going to start by darkening in like the center of the flowers. I don't know how well you guys can see this on video, but it is darker. And then you're going to want to go along and in fact, I think I'll use the tip, and I'm just going to kind of color exactly where they have them. Okay, when I say exactly, I don't mean exactly. I mean, maybe you can do it exactly, but you know how I feel about perfection. So there you go. And see, that did give it a little bit darker look. So there we go. And just, if you want to get crazy and shady, you can do that. But I'm trying to keep this just enough because it's really just going to be a background. So there are my flowers colored with the petal pink Stampin' Blends. All right, now this is where this becomes kind of important. I'll do it this way. I am going to magnets. They're very strong magnets. If you've never used the Stamparatus before, then perhaps you don't know, but these are really strong magnets. They do not come with the Stampin' Up! Logo. That is some retired washi tape. Then I'm using the Hello Friend, and I'm going to just kind of center this over the flowers where I want it. And there we go. I'm going to pick that up. Dang it. Set that back. Photopolymer tends to want to stick. In case you were not aware of that, it definitely does. So this is why I am using the Stamparatus. I really want this image to be as dark as possible. When you have photopolymer and you're using this, you can just take your bone folder, slide it in there to hold it down. Okay? And hopefully it didn't move at all when I did this in my practice. I mean, not even a little tiny bit. It did not move. Maybe I should slide this over a little bit. I mean, seriously, it's so irritating. It did not move at all. But I'm doing a video. So there you go. So because I want this darker and I'm still seeing some lightness, I am going to just go ahead and do it again. By the way, this is an old Stampin' Up! Cookie press, and this is torn off of a whiteboard eraser, and I just glued it on. Oh, see, there you go. Now, see how much darker it is? I got a much darker, crisper image by doing it twice, and there's no way in the world that I would be able to do that on my own, just stamping it again. I don't care that it's photopolymer. I don't care. I know me. It would not happen. So anyway, so I'm going to leave that because I pre-cut this out for you guys, so you would not have to wait. I cut it out with the beautiful die set, and I also cut a black matching one that's slightly bigger. So, excuse me. So I'm going to adhere these two together with this awesome liquid glue, which has been my go-to glue lately. See, this was where I didn't like the way those came out. I don't remember why at the time, though. I did not like them. The thing about liquid glue is I love that you have a little bit of breathing space when you want to get something centered. So you guys are going to see a lot of recorded videos for me. I am going to be having some eye surgeries. And so I'm trying to tape ahead so I don't leave you guys. But in case you're wondering, I'm really struggling. My eyes keep getting blurry. So cataracts, in case you're wondering. I'm too young, but apparently not. Okay, so now I'm going to glue this. This piece is cut, I believe it's just shy. No, it is 3 3/4 by 5. And this is pretty bumpy, so I'm going to try to get some on there. And see, I can see that part was just too thick, so I'm going to try and spread that. But it's going to want to curl, so I kind of want to make sure I get all the edges on this. You can make it uncurl. I just don't have time for that stuff. I'll just add more glue, right? And again, the ability to slide it around. This glue does dry clear, but I still don't like to get it on my projects because, especially on dark colors like this, excuse me while I kind of hold this up while I do it. It might be a little shiny and I don't want that. So, all right, that is not perfectly straight, but I am not a perfect demonstrator, as many of you know. So that is good enough for me. Now I am going to take this wonderful ribbon, which I think is so cute, and I was so happy that they carried it over into the line. I don't know if it's going to be in the annual catalog. I do not know. So if you like it as much as I do, you might want to buy it. Okay, now here's what I'm going to do. I want 2 of these. So I need my ribbon scissors. I actually kept a pair of brand new snips and I put a little ribbon on it, because then they stay a little bit sharper than the ones that you use for paper. So there's a little tiny tip for you, not necessarily on a Tuesday, because I don't really know what day I'll be posting this. So I could use the liquid glue, and I may to adhere it to the card front, but I wanted to be sure that the ribbon stayed in place. So I'm just putting a little back there. And I'm going to kind of estimate the center. If you're real funny about wanting to be sure that your ribbons are right in the center, knock yourself out. But you know that's not my way. It will be what it is when it is done. Now the good thing about this is I can kind of look at the honeycombs to see if they're kind of lining up with the honeycombs, or if they're not in this case. And I am just folding it over like that. Then I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to go and use this, since it's out, to adhere it to the front of the card. Now I lift a little bit when I've got ribbon and see if I can get some of the adhesive to kind of string over the ribbon, just to sandwich it in. That is definitely crooked. Of course. Close enough for me. I'm going to center that on there. And then I'm going to put this on with Stampin Dimensionals, and I am going to use our awesome black Stampin Dimensionals for this. Love them. If you've never seen our black Dimensionals before, they, our Dimensionals come in regular size like this, or the smaller ones. When you buy the black, you get 2 sheets of regular and 2 sheets of the small. So there's that. Things are falling on the floor over here. it's craziness in Farmington Hills today. So here we go. So while you're watching, say hello. Tell me where you're from. Have you watched me before? If not, where are you from? Where you been? What's going on? How long have you used Stampin' Up? That's a good question. I would love to know that answer. Okay, so now I've got the card, and you could actually finish it like this and just leave it because it's pretty, right? But I'm going to show you something fun to do with the punch to make a ladybug, but we're not going to make a ladybug. I saw this, my friend did this, my friend Cindy. Thank you, Cindy, if you're watching. And I just thought this was just the cutest idea. So you take your striped ribbon. This is from that awesome set that's in the annual catalog. I believe it's called Pattern Play. It is a hostess only set. So if you have a $150 order, you can get this. In which case, if you do get all excited and spend $150, don't use my hostess code. No, because otherwise you won't get your hostess credit. So now I'm lining it up, and I don't know if you can see, but I'm lining it up to where this, the two like circles meet on the ladybug. At least that is my plan. Let's see how I do here. I told you stuff is falling all over the place over here. I really am struggling to see. It's true. Okay. So now I have that piece. And this is where the cool factor comes in. Now I do need a scrap. I'm sorry. Give me just a minute to grab one. Here we go. Now, this is where the Daffodil Delight comes in. I saw this, and I'll show you. I have one finished. I saw this, and can you see how it looks highlighted? I mean, you really almost can't with the wings on it, but I thought she used some kind of shimmery paper. But no, it's her awesome coloring technique. So what you're going to do is you're going to color in the white stripe with the Daffodil Delight completely. Okay? Don't worry if you get it on the black, it won't hurt anything. And then you're going to, I'm using the brush end, you're going to color part way in with the darker Daffodil Delight, leaving the center-ish open. And this one I'm actually going to do a little on the bottom. So see how it looks like that? Then you'll take your light one again and sort of blend it out. When you're doing this, it's going to look like you can see the back of the designer series paper, but it goes away. Now you're going to come in and not quite as far in. You're going to go like that. And that is how you get it to look dimensional. Isn't that cool? I mean, it truly looks like it's on a special paper, but it is just coloring with your blends gave it that dimension. Okay, so it's very cool. Then you will adhere it to the black ladybug, and now it's a bee, right? And bees have wings, and the bee's wings I think might be what fell. Hold on just a minute. There we are. They are punched out of vellum, and I did punch it twice, but I want to show you, and I'm hoping you guys can see that there is glimmer on here. I'm hoping you guys can see that from the Wink of Stella. If you've never used Wink of Stella before, when you get it, it's going to have a black ring here. You have to unscrew everything, take that black ring out, and then it says push. And that is just to get the ink flowing. You do not have to push continually. What you're going to find when you do this is that these are going to start to curl, which I think personally for the wings, it's kind of awesome that they start to curl. And of course I punched out 2 for this ladybug, just like my friend did. And then to adhere it, you're actually going to, and I'm not going to do this because it's still a little damp and I want to put on a couple of coats of Wink Estella, but you're going to put some of the liquid glue just along the tip here. Then you're going to set it aside and let it dry a little bit so it's not super, super wet, because then you won't see it. And if you look at mine, you really can't see it. Now, if you want, you could just do one set of wings, totally up to you. But I wanted to do two, and they are offset a little bit. I put on the bottom one first, obviously, and then I put on the top, and I'm just letting it do its thing. Right? Fun, right? I don't know how well it'll stay popped up when it travels, but hey, it's popped up now. And I also dropped my Dimensionals. All right. I don't know. Oh, there they are. Okay, thought I lost my black Dimensionals. So now, because I popped this up, I definitely want to pop up the ladybug, but I'm only going to pop up the butt part of the ladybug. And then I'm going to put some adhesive on the head, because I don't want to pop that up too, because it is going to land on the hello friend. And I don't want it, I mean, you could, you know, because then it would lift it up if that's what the look that you want. But then I am just going to set that right there. And see, now the honeycomb makes sense. The flowers make sense. But my friend did a very similar card. It's not exactly like hers, because when I case, I do try to change it up a little bit. But this was what I really wanted to copy of hers, because just adorable. So I hope you guys like this little card. And remember to share my video. When you share my video, I will then post below on my Facebook page that you have shared. And I will put you in a drawing next month for some free stuff. Okay. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Bye.